Drugs or Engineered Suicide. Hello, I am Dr. K. Paul Stoller. In Homer's Odyssey, the enchantress Circe offers travelers a cup. It looks like hospitality. It turns them into beasts. John William Waterhouse painted that exact moment in 1891. The cup is held out. The transformation has already begun for one man. Ulysses watches from the mirror, warned just in time. Robert Yoho, M.D., opens his new book with that image for a reason. The poisons described in these pages arrive the same way, offered by a confident hand, dressed as relief, sold as medicine. The book is called Drugs or Engineered Suicide, Street Drugs, Big Pharma, Over the Counter. One argument told a dozen times. The argument is simple and repeated. An industry takes a substance, sells it as safe, and engineers it for dependence. It captures the science that should have warned us and the agencies that should have stopped it. It buries the harm as long as possible. When the truth finally breaks, it pays a fine smaller than the profit, admits nothing, and moves the killing to weaker jurisdictions. Yoho is not writing as an outsider. He is a retired physician who prescribed opioids, wrote roughly 1,000 Prozac-class prescriptions, took a benzodiazepine every night for 9 years, and tried ketamine on himself. In every case, he believed what he had been taught. In every case, he was wrong. He begins with the original template, the cigarette. Tobacco kills about 8 million people worldwide every year. Roughly 1.2 to 1.3 billion people still use it, most of them in low and middle income countries where regulation never took hold. The science was clear by 1964. The industry knew earlier. It ran a 40-year denial campaign, swearing to Congress that nicotine was not addictive, while its own files labeled it an addictive drug. The modern cigarette is not a leaf rolled in paper. It is a high-technology nicotine delivery device. Chemists freebased the nicotine with ammonia so it reaches the brain in about 7 seconds. When I visited the CDC's Environmental Health Lab 20 years ago, I was shown how big tobacco sprayed the leaf with crystal nicotine, like crystal meth, how micro laser holes were punched in the cigarettes to fool the CDC's nicotine detectors. Strains were bred for higher alkaloid content, burn rates were tuned, filters were marketed as health features, while the disease burden barely changed. Nicotine drives the addiction and damages the heart. The killers are mostly tar, combustion products, heavy metals, and polonium-210, a radioactive emitter the industry discovered in the 1950s, tried and failed to remove, then suppressed for decades. In the United States, adult smoking fell from 42.4% in 1965 to under 10% by 2024, the largest sustained public health win in modern American history. Outside the developed world, the decline is slower or reversing. The same companies that paid hundreds of billions in U.S. settlements now operate with far less constraint in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. The pattern is the template: profitable product, coordinated denial, regulatory capture, geographic displacement of the dying, and eventual partial accountability that never fully stops the business. One biological fact underlies almost every drug in the book. When a person repeatedly takes a chemical, the body adapts. Tolerance appears. The old dose stops working. The patient raises the dose. The body adapts again. Withdrawal is the same adaptation seen from the other side. Remove the chemical and the systems that recalibrated around it overshoot. The symptoms often look exactly like the original complaint, only worse. Anxiety treated with a benzodiazepine returns as fiercer anxiety. Pain treated with an opioid returns as heightened pain sensitivity. Insomnia treated with a sleeping pill returns as total inability to sleep. The patient concludes he still needs the drug. He is treating withdrawal from the drug with more of the drug and calling it treatment for a disease the drug drug itself often created. Yoho lived inside that circle for 9 years with clonazepam. He is a physician who prescribed the same class of drugs to others. If it fooled him, it can fool anyone. Yoho does not treat these as isolated scandals. He presents them as a pattern with a body count its architects have at times openly discussed. He cites public statements, David Rockefeller's proud admission of working toward a more integrated global structure, Jacques Cousteau's 1991 remark that stabilizing world population would require eliminating 350,000 people per day. He points to the Pfizer documents and other records as evidence of deliberate harm beyond mere profit. He argues that many of the people driving these agendas are not ordinary humans motivated only by money. They are, in his view, psychopaths who lack the ordinary human operating system of empathy and who treat population reduction as an end in itself. Whether or not a reader accepts the darkest reading, the repeated industrial method is documented. Sell the substance as safe, engineer dependence, capture the science and the regulators, bury the harm, pay the fine, and move on. Vioxx alone, according to FDA safety officer David Graham's Senate testimony, caused tens of thousands of fatal heart attacks in a few years. One drug, one pattern. The method is not slowing down. As the cigarette story winds down in wealthy countries, the same companies push harder elsewhere. While opioid settlements are still being argued, weight loss drugs are being prepared for a market of hundreds of millions. The particular drug will keep changing. The pattern will not until enough people learn to recognize it. Robert Yoho's book is not a call to fear every pill. It is a request to see the shape of the offer the next time industry hands you a cup and calls it medicine. The full manuscript, references, and Yoho's other books are available to paid subscribers at robertyoho.substack.com. Watch the pattern, decide for yourself.